It is Friday, December 13th, 2024. This is another edition of Football Today, presented to you by Captain Morgan, the official spiced rum of the NFL. You know those dudes, Justin Penik, Bobby Skinner. I am Chris Rose. Producer Connor is along the road with us as well. Gentlemen, one more month to go. Still a few playoff bids up for grabs, some division titles, some interesting games, and we're going to start it off with what could be the biggest game of the year. AFC heading to an NFC power. You got the Bills at the Lions. Bobby, are you a little worried about Buffalo facing another high-powered offense after the Rams dropped 44 on them last week and ended their seven-game winning streak?
Oh, absolutely. And especially when you can reference back to the Ravens game earlier in the year where they ran all over them, and we know the Lions can win in both ways. Yeah, I think this is a lot of people's Super Bowl prediction because they're a little bit tired of the Chiefs and the Lions are the favorite out of the NFC. You know, they're a team that can be run on, right? They're 26th in rushing defense yards per carry, 19th in total rushing. They give up a lot of quick passes. And I just worry that the Lions can boat race any defense that isn't brimming with talent because that offensive line allows them to do whatever they want. So, yeah, I'm worried about almost anybody facing the number one scoring team in the NFL, with doesn't, scores 23 at minimum. But the Bills specifically, because like you said, they've shown that people can put up some big numbers on them.
There's names on this Bills defense, man. I don't think they should be like average or even a little bit below average in a lot of stuff and a lot of stats, right? I'm almost viewing this as Chris Rose, your friend Michael Irvin. He had one of the most famous speeches and rants and him yelling about getting fired up and you got to show up to play like that. That's almost like what I want to tell these Bills players. Like Christian Benford's a good football player. You got to match up with Jameson Williams on the outside. It's going to be Teron Johnson in the slot going up against Amon-Ra St. Brown. You not only got to beat him in coverage, you got to beat him on the run too, because you know that Amon-Ra's going to bring into the run game. Ed Oliver's getting almost $20 million a year. Come on, let's show up, man. Von Miller, I know you're 35, but you're getting back from an injury. Let's go. Gregory Rousseau can't be the only pass rusher that shows up for this Bills team. So DaQuan Jones, before he got hurt last year, was having an awesome year. He's been kind of iffy, missing, not that active this year. So really, this is like hey, there's names here. There's talent here. There's guys getting paid. Let's show up and let's do this if we're the Buffalo Bills. Shouldn't be this average on defense if you're the Buffalo Bills with the level of investment that the team is spending on these guys.
Okay, so before the Rams dropped 44 on the Bills, when was the last time that the Bills gave up 30 points in a game?
The Ravens game, correct?
Yes. So that's week 4. That's an awfully long time ago. That's very early in the season. I'm not panicking at all. We talked a little bit, I think, about the Rams on our show earlier this week, and they're an offense under Sean McVay that as long as Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nacua are standing upright, that they can click. Like, they can get some chemistry. They went on a roll last year, and I feel like they're gaining some momentum right now. So it doesn't shock me. The Bills went basically 2 straight months without a loss. They've played a lot of emotional games. They had a big one the previous Sunday in the snow at home, Sunday Night Football. Got to go all the way across the country. It's not easy to be perfect every week. The Lions have kind of shown us that, right? They've dropped 50 a couple of times. They've had some 40 burgers on people. They keep winning. But it's hard to be at the top level of your game each and every time out. I expect the Bills to stay right in this thing. And I think the other question should be is, how the heck are the Lions going to stop Josh Allen?
Their defense has been kicking ass, though.
And their run defense is so good, so the Bills won't be able to fully stay on schedule. And I take the Lions DBs over the Bills wide receivers. Amari Cooper has been a nice ad, but he hasn't, he hasn't lit it on fire yet. Lit on fire for the Bills quite yet, or jumped through a table. So I kind of like the line. I think the Lions may win this game in a blowout. And again, that's
Blowout.
I can also see the Bills going to the Super Bowl. I just think the Lions, man, are just on a different level. And if your team is not brimming with talent on defense, which Justin said they have some good players, but None of those guys you mentioned are all pro.
They're not
Matt
playing
Malone.
like they should right now. That's also the thing, you know?
Well, they're also the number 8 defense in the NFL. With having that 44-point game put on them last week. So I really think the Lions are on a different level than anybody in the NFL right now.
I don't know if I'll go that far. Listen, they've played exceptional football. Have they won 10 or 11 in a row? I can't. They won 11 straight.
11, yeah.
Yeah. So that is a franchise record. They are 12-1 for the first time in franchise history. But Buffalo has gone 7 straight games where they've scored at least 30 points. We know that Josh Allen's playing out of his mind. He's accounted for 10 touchdowns and no turnovers this month. So I expect them to keep it close. In the end, do I think that Detroit ends up winning this one by 3 or 7? I could certainly see that, but I think it'll be tight the entire way. And I would be shocked if Buffalo walks out of here having lost 2 straight, scratching its head, wondering what's going on with its defense heading into the last 3 games of the year.
You also, Detroit's got a little bit of a 3-game rest because they played Thursday night last week.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Lions have had a lot of emotional, the Packers game that obviously meant a lot to them, but they know that this is being painted as a possible Super Bowl preview, and I think it reminds me a little bit of last year when we had Ravens 49ers, and we're like, here we go, this is the one, and I picked 49ers to win that game, and then the Ravens just brought it to them. I really like the Lions. They're my Super Bowl pick by a wide margin at this point, and I just think they can do whatever they want on offense, and that's just hard to keep up with.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got the Lions. Penik?
I'm also going to go with the Lions. All 3 losses this year for the Bills have been on the road.
I, too, will go with the Lions, but I think it's going to be closer than maybe you guys think. Do you have predictions and how we did last week and all that sort of stuff, Penik?
I'm looking up that right now, Rose. Keep going, and I'll let you know in 20 seconds.
All right, well, for goodness sakes. In the meantime, I've got a prediction for you. We have got an amazing Blitzball Battle 5 final coming your way. It is this Sunday night. So in between the late afternoon games and the Sunday night game, what we're about to talk about between Green Bay and Seattle, you can watch Blitzball Battle 5, the championship game. It is time to get you all ready, set, and go.
It is finals time here in the warehouse. Blitzball Battle 5 presented to you by DraftKings. Love yous. Looking for a first ever Blitzball banner and a Warehouse Cup championship on top of it. Taking on the tandem of Shelfie and Trevor Plouffe.
I'm looking for Love Yous to wrap this package up. Mickey Cass has been smashing it around a little bit. He has also found something on the mound, but I saw something from the rotten team last game out. Shelfie's in the running for MVP.
I think we have the 2 leading contenders for MVP. We got Shelfie on one side and Dalton Feely in the other.
I'm going to have to go with Rotten because I have not picked Love Yous at all this tournament. It seems to be going pretty well for them.
I'm going to pick your squad.
Oh.
I think you will be helping them celebrate a Warehouse Cup championship at the end of the day. It is the season finale of our franchise series 2024. Blitzball Battle 5, presented to you by DraftKings.
Once again, that is coming your way, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And yes, Penik? For goodness sakes, can I at least let people know that they can join us in the chat Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for the championship game of all championship games to decide not only Blitzball Battle 5, but who wins the inaugural Warehouse Cup? Once again, at 7:30 Eastern. We'll see you in the chat. Now you've got updates.
My Week 14 pick update. Solid week for all of us. Rose, you and I, we went 8 for 12, and Bob Skinner went 7 for 12. So our winning percentages on the year, I'm at 60.9.
Don't announce this.
Chris Rose is at 54.3%, and Bob Skinner's at 53.9%. I am winning by a wide margin, by almost 6%, 7%.
All right, that's enough. Let's move on, shall we? A couple of good games on opposite coasts. You got the Steelers at Philadelphia. Sunday Night Football, you've got Green Bay at Seattle. You can only have a ticket to one of those games, Justin Penik. Which game are you going to and why?
Steelers Eagles. I just feel like there's more on the line. There's more on the line. It feels like it. Even though obviously the teams with the 2 worst-ish records and Packers and Seahawks is being played. But I think there's more on the line, and I think the way that these two teams are matching up and playing right now, I think it's going to be fascinating to see how it plays out. Saquon Barkley needs to average over 120 yards per game for the remainder of the season, for the remaining 4 games of the season to get that rushing record. The Steelers have a very, very good run defense, even though at times it's been a little leaky at times this year. Like our Giants had a nice game. So Eagles, watch that Giants film if you want to know how to run the ball well against the Steelers. Russell Wilson's obviously throwing the ball well. He's throwing the ball well going deep, but that Eagles defense is playing really well right now. The number 1 total defense in the NFL, allowing just 284.2 total yards per game. So yeah, fascinating matchup. Can Jalen Hurts make that throw? Can Jalen Hurts be the difference in this game and make that throw for the Eagles and maybe them coming out on top instead of a big Saquon Barkley run in the fourth quarter? Again, fascinated to see how this plays out.
Yeah, these are teams with great records, different conferences, in the same state. I'm going to have takes coming out of this game because even with their good records, I have questions about them that I might not other teams that with their records, right? Like, other teams have issues, but I kind of can pinpoint that. With the Eagles, it's like, all right, you're going to figure some of this stuff out. Pittsburgh, it's Russell Wilson. He hasn't had that great game versus a good defense quite yet. The Eagles are certainly that. Where Packers, Seahawks, I am interested in that, but also the outcome of that game I don't think is going to sway many of our opinions on what those teams are. Where I think this Eagles-Steelers game, both these teams have been winning, but still get questioned every single week from shows like ourselves. And this is the game. Like one of them is going to come out with the Steelers being 10-3 or the Eagles at 11-2.
I'm curious to see in that Eagles-Steelers game a couple of things. Number one, is Philadelphia going to force feed its wide receivers? Are they going to take the narrative that blew up this week thanks to Brandon Graham? And then A.J. Brown, I thought, did a nice job on his Wednesday press conference saying, hey, listen, there's nothing to see here. Like, we have a great relationship. Brandon Graham, that's just kind of the way that he talks. We're going to be just fine. But sometimes when that happens, wide receivers get force-fed. Is that what they're going to try and do against the top-notch defense in Pittsburgh? One of the fun things is when teams don't play every year, and for, Philly and Pittsburgh, even though they're so close, it's weird that the Eagles have won 10 in a row over Pittsburgh at home. The last time the Steelers won in the city of brotherly love was 1965, a game played at Franklin Field. So you got that hanging over your head. Yes, absolutely. Please don't joke that I covered it or anything like that.
But a rock is meeting a hard place, Rose. You want to know even a more fun stat?
What do you got?
Russell Wilson is 8-0 in his career against both Pennsylvania teams.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But that includes 2-0 against the Steelers, which will not improve this week. So, yeah, there you go. In the other game, I've got a fun little nugget for you. The home team has won each of the last 10 meetings between these two teams, and they do play fairly frequently. Yeah. The last time a road team won was in 2008 when Aaron Rodgers was just starting his first season as a starter. Do you know who called that game on TV?
I remember that was a Thursday night game. Was it you, obviously? But
yeah, it was a Sunday game. And
okay.
Yeah, and it was the last time I was like, wait a second, I think I called that game. And sure enough, I did. I believe that Charlie Fry was the starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks that day against Aaron Rodgers.
Cleveland Browns Charlie Fry?
Yes.
Didn't they go into a year being like, he's our guy?
Oh, yeah. He was he's the answer to a trivia question. Who is the only quarterback to have started week 1 for a team and then been traded before week 2?
Good Lord.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Do you think that either Seattle or Green Bay can make any hay in the playoffs?
Green Bay, absolutely. I mean, they were right there last year. Jordan Love, another year older. They've added talent where they needed it on the defense. They've changed their defense. Like, I think again, Detroit is my favorite for the NFC. 2 through 4, I think Eagles, Vikings, and Packers can all make a case. And hell, I mean, the Packers just went toe-to-toe with the Lions.
Why are we so quick to dismiss a team like Seattle? I feel like they're the one team in the West that, even though it's been leading for the last several weeks, we don't even discuss.
They're not flashy. They're not as good on offense as they should be.
No. And I like Gino a lot too. But he'll I don't like what do we think they're on those other teams' levels? Like, I don't love their run game. I know Kenneth Walker's a really good player, but I don't love their run game. Defensively, they've got good players, but not like star driven. So they can win a game any week, but if they're playing the Detroit Lions, I think they have no shot. Where I think the Eagles, Packers, and Vikings can go toe to toe with the Lions.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Let's do predictions for these two games. First of all, Steelers at the Eagles. Penik, who do you have?
I'm going Steelers.
Steelers on the road. Okay.
I'm going to go Eagles. I think it's a low-scoring game, but I just don't think the Steelers' offense has the capabilities to really do a lot against that Vic Fangio Eagles defense. And the Eagles, no matter what their issues, have more talent on offense and can run the ball.
Yeah, as of the taping of this show, we don't know the status of George Pickens, but it sounds like he is not going to be back this weekend. If that's the case, I am going to take the Philadelphia Eagles. It's one thing to not have him against my lowly Cleveland Browns, who are looking forward to the end of the season. It's another one to have it against a defense that is the number one in the entire NFL. What about the Sunday night game? Green Bay at Seattle. Bobby.
You said the home team always wins this one. It's going to change. I'm going to go Green Bay. 3 days rest. And unlike, remember the Fail Mary? Right?
Yes,
we all remember the Fail Mary. Do you remember my favorite part of that? My most memorable was John Gruden saying they had to fly like 5,000 miles back to Green Bay. When I don't think it's quite that much. But
No,
I'm going to go Green Bay.
I'm also going Green Bay.
To be honest with you, it's not that bad a flight from Seattle to the Green Bay area because you stay up pretty much on the same plane. It's not like you're going Seattle to Miami. So tell Gruden to just pipe down a little. Well,
I'm going to look up what exactly was it.
Well, you know what? Let's play guess the mileage. Don't look it up yet, Bobby. Don't look it up.
I did look it up.
Don't say it. Okay, hold on. Penik, do you have a guess?
How far Green Bay, Wisconsin is to Seattle?
I am going to say that it is 2,106 miles.
I'll just go 2,000 on the dot. I won't try and get specific.
Oh, God, you're no fun.
I was thinking 1,700 before Rose said anything, so I did not change my
I'll
answer.
go 2001. Great year.
All right.
Actually, no, it wasn't. 2002. Never mind. 2001.
Dale Earnhardt passed away.
9/11 and Dale Earnhardt died. That's an awful year. 2002.
Who's looking this up, by the way?
Connor?
Yeah, Connor, look it up. I have the answer for what John Gruden said it was.
What
I
did he
actually
say it
lowballed
was?
it. He said 6,000 miles. They had to fly back to Green Bay.
Have we given Connor a password to get into the office computers? Is that
Connor, unmute yourself and say it.
1,934.
Beat me to it. I was just going to say it. I just unmuted the button. 1,934.9.
0.9.
Okay.
That's via I-90 East, though. So flight, I'll have to track.
No, we'll settle with
right.
that. I think I won in that. I think I won that.
I think you did.
Price is right.
Because you didn't go over.
Yeah, Price is Right rules. I said 1,700.
Gruden, as usual, was way off. All right, Penik.
Packers.
Are we in the football fantasy playoffs?
Oh, yes. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And I am. Like, my NJ Huskers made the Captain Morgan Playmakers League fantasy playoffs. Oh, man. I ended the season 7-7, and I'm facing Shelfie Sleepers in the first round. He is also 7-7. 51% win percentage for Shelfie, 49% for us. So right now, the matchup is a flip the coin. I love my team. I got Calvin Ridley, Tyreek Hill's playing good at a good time. I need to replace Will Dissly because he is doubtful. So let's do that right now. Let's go Pat Freiermuth against those Philadelphia Eagles, like we were saying. And now I'm projected 54%. So thank you to Captain Morgan. They sponsored the Captain Morgan Playmakers Fantasy League. I'm in the playoffs. I told you everything was going to be fine. You doubted me. You said, Justin, I don't know. You doubted me. I don't know. Check your lineup. I made it. Today's episode is sponsored by Captain Morgan, the official spice rum of the NFL. This season is where legends are born on and off the field. Summer of last second plays that turn the tide and change a team's destiny. while others are friends who follow the captain from within them to make a regular get-together into the stuff of legends. So grab your crew, grab a captain and a cola. Make it a story to remember because legends start when you follow the captain. Visit followthecaptain.com for more. Please drink responsibly. Captain Morgan Original Spice Rum, 35% alcohol by volume. Captain Morgan Rum Company in New York, New York. You will be glad you did, and I will be glad that I'm going to win this fantasy matchup this week. And thank you to this ad read for allowing me to check my lineup to make that change.
That away. All right, let's go get them. We expect you to be a winner and have something next Friday that we can root for. All right, before we get out of here, a lot of interesting matchups. Bobby, pick one game which interests you the most that we haven't talked about.
Bucks Chargers, right? Bucks, now they have that 1-game lead in the division. Can they keep that? Chargers, beat a good team, right? The Bucks aren't a great team, but they're a good team. You need to win that game. They got to get back on track. If they, want to make the playoffs, I'm pretty confident they will, but they need to win this game. Bucks Chargers, I'm really looking forward to this one.
Dolphins Texans, low key. The Texans are a team that I'm kind of out on. Their defense has been really good, but CJ Stroud has not been CJ Stroud. It's a very under talked about point, but they're just running away with the AFC South, so nobody really fully cares on how CJ Stroud looks. But that Dolphins defense is kind of all right. It's kind of good. Chop Robinson, by the way, killing it. I have a short ready. I watched a couple games of him, watched a couple pressures and stuff like that. Chop Robinson looks really, really good, and he does line up on the left tackle. So the Dolphins offense has been humming a little bit too. Waddle's been getting better. Hill's been getting better. So I don't know what their chances look like in terms of making the playoffs, but this is even a big game for the Texans to be like, yeah, does this game fully matter? No, but they got to start playing better football, and the Dolphins could be a good team, good little barometer to see where they're at.
Am I going to force myself on Monday night to have to watch the Falcons and the Raiders? I think I'm going to have to. I do believe that the Chargers are going to hang on at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which opens the door for the Atlanta Falcons, who have not won in a month. Their quarterback has not thrown a touchdown during a 4-game losing streak, and he has been picked off 8 times, and we have discussed twice in the previous 2 shows whether or not it is time for Michael Penix Jr. to step under center. Kirk Cousins, remember, it used to be the Monday night, the primetime games where he would struggle. Well, this is the time where he's going to snap out of it because the Raiders haven't won since week 4, I believe, that they have dropped 9 in a row. So, Kirk Cousins, your luck will change in Las Vegas, I think. Or at least I'm tuning in to find out. And if they win and the Bucs lose, Atlanta then grabs the upper hand with 3 games to go in the NFL season because they will have swept the season series from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, let's do some predictions of the other games around the NFL. The champs, the 2-time defending champs, are in Cleveland to visit Travis Kelce's hometown. Chiefs, Browns, Bobby Skinner.
I think this is upset of the week. Browns get a random victory here.
Wow. Okay. Penik?
I do not think that. I think the Chiefs will win.
Yeah, I don't see it, and I don't think they're going to need a game-winning field goal as time expires, unfortunately. I do think that the Browns will play better, but I don't think well enough to win. Ohio's other team, Cincinnati Bengals, fresh off a Monday night win in Dallas, on the road to face their old OC, Brian Callahan, and the Tennessee Titans, Penik.
Go 9-8. Finish the season off somewhat strong, Bengals.
Oh, brother. I saw people buying back in on the Bengals because they beat an awful Cowboys team. The Bengals stink, but they're going to beat the Tennessee Titans.
I agree. So we've got Cincinnati, all 3 of us there. Washington, fresh off a bye on the road. Big one for them in the Bayou. Penik?
Washington. Yeah, Washington.
Left hand up. Who are we? I got the Commanders.
I got to tell you, I know that Derek Carr is out. I know that Taysom Hill is out. I think the New Orleans Saints pull off the upset in part because I want to see somebody push the Washington Commanders for that last bid in the NFC wildcard playoff chase.
This is why I'm
Somebody
running
didn't
away
watch
with it.
the Saints on all 22 this week, Rose.
Listen. I know it's projected to be horrible. I did watch their game last week, but I just think this is one of those games where maybe something interesting happens. Your Giants, Bobby Skinner, playing host to the Baltimore Ravens.
The Ravens by 40.
I'll go conservative. I'll go Ravens by like 24.
Yeah. Well, Tommy DeVito's back, guys, so we can use that shtick again. Go
Yeah.
Ravens.
He's gonna. Never mind.
Dallas Cowboys at the Carolina Panthers, who have played much better football, Justin Penik, as of late.
This isn't even technically an upset if you pick the Panthers, even though you think in your brain it should be. Panthers. This is our Panthers. This is our team. Panthers.
Keep pounding, Panthers.
Yeah, we're gonna make it a clean sweep. Although I actually think this will be a pretty good game. Yeah, I expect it to be a tight one, and wouldn't shock me if Dallas wins. But I'll go with Carolina. The Jets, they have been horrific over the last 3 months at Jacksonville. Bobby?
Lowest ticket of the week so far at $18. I'm sure those will go down before game time. Just Giants had a ticket for $1 last week. I'm going to go Jets.
Penik?
Yeah, I'll also go Jets too. It's kind of unbelievable to see both of these teams at 3-10.
I can't watch Mac Jones throw the football. I'd rather watch Aaron Rodgers talk about his life off the field. I'm going to go with the Jets. Miami at Houston. So Miami's still alive after that come from behind win against the New York Jets last week. And now Houston coming off a bye. Could be a little rusty. They also could clinch the division depending if a few things happen this week. Penik, who do you have?
I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
Texans.
Yeah, I got the Texans as well. I think they should sharpen things up. Indianapolis at Denver. Huge one for the Broncos because they could really solidify their wild card status with a team that's trying to chase them down. Bobby?
Let's show them who the real horse is. The Denver Broncos are going to kick the shit out of the Colts. How about that?
Yeah, I just don't think Anthony Richardson's going to do well with that defense. Put him in a blender. I'll go with the Bronx.
Yeah, I would say Denver forces at least 3 Colts turnovers, and they end up winning this one. New England off a bye. On the road against struggling Arizona, Justin Penik.
New England on the road against Arizona. Yeah, my Cardinals. My Cardinals. Keep going. Keep fighting.
Yep, Cardinals.
You know what? I think I'm going to go with the Patriots. Hopefully they've cleaned a few things up during the bye. Drake May's been playing some excellent football that hasn't been talked about. I think they end up getting a shocking win on the road. Tampa and Los Angeles, we've talked a little bit about that, Bobby Skinner, but let's make a prediction between the Bucks and the Bolts.
I got to get the Chargers. I got to pick the Chargers in this one. Get back on track.
Tampa, Baker's
Is Justin
got that.
Herbert playing, actually?
Ooh.
He did miss practice.
I think he is scheduled to play.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
go Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going Tampa. Baker's got that moxie. He's got that swagger. I'm all in on a Baker Mayfield mini postseason run. Not a big one, a mini one.
But Baker has been turning over the ball at an alarming rate, including 3 times last week. During their 3-game winning streak, they have beaten powerhouses, the Giants, Panthers, and Raiders. That winning streak stops right here in L.A. Monday night, we've got a pair of games. First, Caleb and the Bears, who have dropped, it feels like, 18 games in a row. It hasn't been that many, but they are at Minnesota, which is on a 6-game heater. Justin Penik?
Yeah, Vikings.
You get dominated with an interim head coach, you're just a loser team. Vikings.
I got the Vikings as well. They're playing for too much. And then Atlanta and Kirk Cousins, I just talked about it, on the road at Las Vegas, which has dropped 9 in a row. Bobby?
This is going to be an amazing tank watch for the Giants fans out there. I still got to, you know what? I'm Raiders. Raiders figure out a way.
Penik?
Want to hear a fun fact? I have correctly predicted one of the Jaguars' 3 victories and one of the Raiders' 2 victories. Nevertheless, I'm going with the Falcons.
Yeah, I think the Raiders will be close, except that I think Desmond Ritter is going to be their quarterback, so it can't be that close. Although it is a Desmond Ritter revenge game. You're right. Kirk Cousins will throw at least 1 touchdown and 1 interception as well.
Oh, yeah.
Go Dirty Bird. I think they end up getting a win, and I think they end up moving back into first place in the NFC South. A month to go. It is getting fun for Bobby Skinner, for Justin Penik, for producer Connor as well, who you heard chime in today. He's apparently got his frequent flyer miles down from Seattle to Green Bay. I am Chris Rose. We will see you Monday here on Football Today, presented to you by Captain Morgan, the official spiced rum of the NFL.